From Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, CBS Radio Sports presents the 1978 World Series on the CBS Radio Network and around the world through the American Forces Radio.
Well, last night, the Dodgers told the Yankees, we're the boss, as they beat them 11-5. The Dodgers used power. They got power from everybody. It really began with Dusty Baker. He had 3 base hits, but this was the big one, a home run. That gave the Dodgers a lead. Davey Lopes had a couple of home runs. Here's his first one. He delivered a message, and his teammate at third base, Rick Monday, he got the message. Here's Davey running around on his second home run. This time, Greg Nettles got the message. The Dodgers told the world they would run on the Yankee outfield. Billy North bounces one over Nettles' head. Garvey scores, and watch this. North never stopped at first, goes into second, surprise, there he is. The Dodger infield also told the world something, that they could hurt the Dodgers with this kind of play. And Tommy John had his say. And as always, it was pretty simple. A sinker ball that meant a lot of ground ball outs. Nice, routine bouncing balls. Mickey Rivers the hitter. Big high hopper, room service, easy out. But the Yankees had something to say, too, that they could come back, they could score runs. And Reggie Jackson told everybody he'll be a factor. He had 3 hits and this home run. And oh, how he loves to watch his home runs. Look at him. Loves it. Now he starts around, and with that home run, he told everybody that there's not a ballpark in the world that can hold a Reggie Jackson home run. But it really was all said right here. Terry Forster, a relief pitcher, trying to nail it down, needs the big out. Roy White, the hitter, last out, and look at that left arm go up. And now here they come, manager Lasorda, the Los Angeles Huggers. Tom Lasorda, happy, congratulating, but the line score tells the story. 11-5, the Dodgers beat the Yankees. Lasorda doesn't miss anything. When he's not hugging, he's shaking hands. And now he kisses everybody goodnight. But that was game 1, and now we're getting set for game 2. And our pitching matchups for the Yankees, it's Catfish Hunter, and for the Dodgers, it's Burt Hooton. The 1978 World Series pregame show is brought to you by V.F. Goodrich, makers of the Advantage. Just 1 tire from the
team of all-stars. Pee Wee Reese was the captain, a dependable hitter, and anchored the infield. Center fielder Duke Snyder had it all, speed and power. Behind the plate was Roy Campanella, one of the great catchers. Then in 1958, the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles, where they began to build a new empire under owner Walter O'Malley. Some of the stars, like Gil Hodges, made the successful transfer from Brooklyn. But the mainstays of the pitching staff reached maturity in the West. Don Drysdale, for one, and left-hander Sandy Koufax, who became the best pitcher in baseball. That had been the club's trademark in Brooklyn was gone. Maury Wills in 1962 stole a record 104 bases, leading a team of speedsters. They didn't overwhelm the league the way the old Dodgers had, but the move to the coast seemed to improve their World Series performance. 3 times they went on to capture the World Series. They were rarely out of a pennant race, and the man responsible for that consistency was Walter Alston, who after 23 years turned the reins over to Tom Lasorda last season. And now Lasorda heads a new group of Dodger stars. Tom Seaver, who now is going to become a regular member of NBC's broadcasting crew, has the captain of the Dodgers at his side.
All-star second baseman Davey Lopes. Davey, you started very slowly last year in the World Series, 1 for 13. Last night, 2 home runs. Is it a matter you're just swinging a hot bat?
That's exactly it, Tom. I'm in a groove right now, and I feel confident that I can hit anybody, and I can even hit the best pitch.
When you come out of the dugout, you go to home plate, do you look for a certain pitch, or do you look for a pitch in a certain area of the strike zone?
Depending on the situation. When I went up the second time against Ed Figueroa, I figured he would be giving me a curveball because that's the book on me. He told me a lot of breaking balls, as you well know. And he got a curveball up my eyes, and I was lucky enough to get it out of the ballpark.
Davey, the loss of Junior Gilliam has been an emotional thing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think it's a big element with this ball club, and more specifically to you, Davey Loeb.
Definitely, the spirit of Jim Gilliam is within all of us right now. We're going to be very difficult to beat because the Yankees are not trying to beat 25 guys, they're trying to beat 50.
Kurt, there's no doubt that the spirit of Junior Gilliam will play a part in this World Series for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I think you're absolutely right, Tom. And today, I attended Jim Gilliam's funeral at the Trinity Baptist Church here in Los Angeles. The church was jammed. Hundreds lined the street outside. The Reverend Jesse Jackson delivered the eulogy. There were also thoughts given by Tom Lasorda, Davey Lopes, there's Steve Garvey, Reggie Jackson, Walter Alston. The entire Dodger ball club attended the funeral. And Don Newcomb announced that the Dodgers were going to retire Gilliam's number 19. The only way it would ever be worn again in a Dodger uniform would be by Gilliam's son if he played for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn. Pee Wee Reese, a teammate.
We hope and pray that his son will come back one day and wear that uniform for the Dodgers. Well, that'll be great.
Back of the program was a simple tribute to Jim Gilliam. One line, I think, expressed everyone's thoughts. In all his life, Jim Gilliam never got his signals crossed. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to baseball's greatest game with your host, Steve Garvey.
This week, we take you to Game 2 of the 1978 World Series between the Dodgers and the Yankees. We got off to a great start in that series, winning Game 1 11-5. Plus, we had extra motivation. We had lost to the Yankees in the World Series the year before. But they were determined. They had made an amazing comeback during the season and then beat the Red Sox in a one-game playoff. So we knew not to be too cocky. Now let's relive one of baseball's greatest games with announcers Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek, and Tom Seaver.
You won 4 world titles, 7 pennants here. Your biggest World Series thrill as a Dodger manager?
Anytime you win a World Series, it's got to be a thrill, and they're all pretty even. I suppose the first one way back in 1955 when Padres finished the Yankees off in the 7th game may have been the most important one to me, and certainly that was a thrill. But like I said, they all have been.
How are you predicting this one?
Well, I believe the Dodgers can do it.
And people want to know, what are you doing now? Where are you living?
Oh, I'm back in Ohio, mowing grass, playing golf, and enjoying myself.
That's the way it should be. Thanks, Walter. Walter Alston, now upstairs to Joe.
Walter Alston, it was good to see him, Kurt, and he's just mowing grass and enjoying life. Smokey Alston. The umpires will be Bill Haller behind the plate, John Kibler at first base, Marty Springstead, the American League, will be at second base, Frank Pulley, National League, third base, left field line, Joe Brinkman of the American League, and Ed Vargo down the right field line from the National League. Here come the Dodgers.
Defense for the Dodgers. Steve Garvey playing first base. Davey Lopes, the second baseman again tonight. 2 big home runs yesterday. Bill Russell playing at shortstop. At third base, Ron Say. He had a big September with 7 home runs late in the season. There's the left fielder, Dusty Baker. He started it all going last night with that home run in the second. Center field, Rick Monday, played on the same team as Catfish Hunter, the pitcher for the Yankees tonight. Out in right field for the Dodgers, it's Reggie Smith. Steve Yeager's doing the catching. And the pitcher, Old Smiley, Burt Hooton.
That was an interesting shot of Yeager because the sun is not a factor here yet. He's catching with tinted glasses, as you can barely see through that mask. You can see the flap to protect the Adam's apple, but the glass is a bit tinted with better vision. Although the sun this time of the day, 5:37 here in Los Angeles, according to the scoreboard clock, really not a factor. But it is tough to pick up that ball as a hitter, Tom. You pitchers get all the breaks.
They claim we get all the breaks. I'm not too sure about that. A lot of the hitters that do come into this park, you're exactly right, Joe, that background. Sometimes those poles out there, the one with the American flag and the other one was the, I guess that must be the National League flag from last year, hanging on it, at half staff. Some of the hitters lose the ball in the poles that are out there.
I've always felt, times we played here when the Angels were here to the World Series, that this mound is higher than any other. In fact, I've heard umpires say that they come in here almost every time, or periodically anyway, and measure the height of the mound.
Yeah, but Figueroa was claiming that one of his problems was too flat.
Read that too.
How about it, Tom? You pitched off this mound.
Not anymore, Joe. It used to be when I first broke into the league in 1967. This was one of the highest mounds, and I think they patterned it after the, well, really for Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, that era, and it stayed real high for quite a while. It's down pretty good now. I mean, it's an honest mound now. I'd say the highest mound in the league now probably in San Francisco.
Spoken like a true pitcher.
Here's the first pitch of the game. Roy White takes it high, ball 1. Reason for the high mound, those overhand throws, it makes you feel like you're hitting uphill. They're always throwing down to you. Roy White swings and misses. A good cut at it, though. Took something off. Was that the knuckle curve?
There it is, and they're going to see a lot of that if he can get it over for strikes, and it's a very difficult pitch to hit if he can get it down in the strike zone. He can even, like Burt said in the pregame show, he can even make bad pitches with it and get away with it. Look at that.
I think that it resembles when we were kids that pitch we called the drop. Remember you had a drop, an in shoot, an out shoot, and a riser. This is a drop. Good shot here. Well hit right field, but Reggie Smith's got him played perfectly. 1 out. Hooton and Hunter, the pitching matchups as Gary Thomason comes up. Since August 1st, not including the playoff games, Hooton has won 8, lost 3. Hunter 9-2. Earned run average of 1.95 for Hooton. Hunter 2.23. 12 games started for both, 5 complete games, so they're almost identical from August 1st, not including the playoffs. Here's Gary Thomason, 6 feet, 180 pounds, 27 years old. Born in San Diego, lives in Phoenix now. Takes it inside. Began his pro career in the Giants organization. He's playing in place of the injured Mickey Rivers. All kinds of rumors going around before the game. There's a bouncing ball into center field. Rumors that Mickey Rivers was in trouble because of a rule infraction, and of course, as Bob Lemon told Kurt Gowdy in the pregame show, anything the Yankees do is blown out of proportion. You know the situation we're in.
Interesting to see early in the ball game if Bob Lemon goes to some hit and running, especially with Munson, with Randolph and Rivers both out of the lineup with the bad legs. Lemon, we thought yesterday, might run some base runners early in the game. He didn't. He might today.
Munson can handle that bat. Last night he was 0 for 4 during the season, hit .297. 6 home runs and 71 runs batted in. 31 years old. He is a tough out. There goes the runner. They didn't wait long. Here's the throw. It's a low throw. Whoa, he overslid. Overslid the bag. He had it and overslid it. Going in with your hand could be a problem.
It was a knuckle curve and a tough ball to pick up for Yeager to throw. Davey Lopes makes a good half-hop pickup. You can see Thomason's in, plenty of time. Overslides it, he's out. Good call by Springstead. Springstead waited till the play was completed. Did not call it too soon. So the Yankees tried some hit and run.
That's hit to left center field. Baker's giving it a chase, and it's off the wall. It'll be extra bases. Munson goes into second base, so the Thomason play looms very big. Hooton has given up 2 hits. First 3 batters he has faced. No run scored since they got Thomason at second.
You can see Dusty Baker play the ball off the wall, played it really very well. Thurman Munson has very good speed for a catcher, made it to second base easily.
Munson at second brings up Reggie Jackson. Jackson 3 for 4 last night. Had a big home run. On the season, 27 home runs, drove in 97 runs, hit .274. Low, ball 1. Seemed that Thomason was almost determined on that steal to try to come in the back door after he touched it with his, trying to hook it, just slid right around it. It cost the Yankees as Munson came up with a double. You see him at second. There's the strike. Bill Haller behind the plate. No score, ball game just getting started.
One of the things you'll see, Joe, now Burt Hooton can make his knuckle curveball go away from a left-hander, or he can just make it go straight down. He gets it going both ways. That was a fastball inside. Reggie looks like he's looking for that knuckle curveball. No balls and 2 strikes, or 1-1 it was.
Tom, if it's a knuckle curveball going away from Jackson, why would that not be a screwball?
It's like a screwball, but he can make the ball go away from a left-hander. It's pretty unorthodox.
He's just picked it up. You were talking yesterday about applying pressures with different fingers to make the ball move, and that's what Hooton has learned this year. There
it was. Just what they were talking about. Jackson is out on strikes. And here is the pitch again. Watch it break to the outside part of the plate. Jackson seems to have a good cut. He misses it by a foot and a half. That ends it. No score, top of the first.
There's the defense. Jim Spencer, champless with a bad hand. Unable to play today. Brian Doyle. First World Series game. He's thrilled, a little bit frightened. There's Bucky Dent, the shortstop for the Yankees. Third baseman, Greg Nettles. Out in left field, reliable Roy White. Center field, Gary Thompson. He has a better arm than Mickey Rivers out there.
Leading off for your Los Angeles
right fielder,
Dodgers,
once again tonight, Lou Piniella.
Second baseman, the Dodger team.
Here's the catcher, Thurman Munson, talking to Bill Haller. Haller's brother at one time, a Major League catcher, Tom. And there's Jim Catfish Hunter, who came on strong late in the season for the Yankees.
Catfish likes to work in a hurry. Davey Lopes had a big night last night. 2 home runs, 2 for 5. He's a first ball hitter and a fastball hitter. He pops up the first pitch, and Nettles will have a play. 1 out.
Talking about these two pitchers and the pace they might set tonight as opposed to last night's game where some of the pitchers took a lot of time and there were changes. Both Hooton and Catfish Hunter especially, they get the ball and want to throw it. Catfish especially throws a lot of strikes and they go after the first pitch.
And with that kind of rhythm, you're going to see good plays because everybody's on their toes. Here's Bill Russell, right on the outside corner. Strike one, 29 years old. Pittsburgh, Kansas, lives in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Bucky Dent, 2 outs.
Batting third.
Reggie Smith, 2 outs, nobody on, no score, bottom of the first, game 2 of the 1978 World Series. And Reggie Smith hit .295 on the regular season. He was 1 for 5 last night. Good power. He had 29 home runs during the regular season. That was high. Reggie Smith. Here I thought they would, before the game, just be pouring over those scouting reports. They're playing pluck. Popped up. Spencer at first base, taking charge. Makes the play, so it's a 1-2-3 inning. Catfish Hunter does the job, and due up for the Yankees in the top of the second, it'll be Greg Nettles, Lou Piniella, and Jim Spencer. 0-0 the score. Fan Jack Plug, when they show up here at Dodger Stadium, as we get set to watch Greg Nettles. Easy out.
Look at the changeup like that.
2 changeups in a row, Tony. Kind of unusual for him. He's got a decent changeup. He doesn't throw him a whole lot. Funny there, he threw 2 in a row to Nettles. They know Nettles is a good fastball hitter, and they're going to try and stay away from the fastball in situations where it might be the pitch that Greg would be guessing for.
Here is Lou Piniella. Piniella, one of the solid hitters in the American League.
These Yankee hitters have seen Hooton before, as you well know, last year. And they have different theories on hitting him. Piniella said he's going to look for fastballs and try and go downtown, which he almost did.
Oh, he came pretty close, Tony.
He said, I'm tired of doing what I did last night, pecking away at the ball, going the other way on pitchers like Tommy John. There goes Reggie back to the wall.
He gave it that extra reach, Tony.
You know, a few years ago, that would not have even come close to the warning track. They moved home plate more towards center field about 6 or 7 years ago, I believe, about 10 or 15 feet. So it has become a little bit better hitting park.
See, the hitters have all the advantage, don't they?
Well, you guys could doctor the baseball.
Here is Jim Spencer. Big guy, 6'2", 195, 31 years old. Powerful hitter. He can hit. Inside, Spencer. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Tom Lasorda, Monty Basgall, and there's Lemon. That's not from last night. That's tonight, live. Well hit, base hit.
Another off-speed pitch. Don't know if it was the knuckle curve or a straight change. Hooton at times, Tom, I get the feeling that even when he throws the knuckle curve, because it is so hard, he can get away with it up in the strike zone. It's just so hard.
It's a point he made in the pregame show, Tony, that he can make bad pitches even with his knuckle curveball and get away with them. Spencer jumped all over that one, though, that's for sure.
Hooton will be pitching to Brian Doyle, a youngster, younger brother of Denny Doyle. There you see him, 24 years old, lives in Cave City, Kentucky. He's a contact hitter, just puts that bat on the ball. He'll sting you. Takes it low, ball 1. He's one of those guys, nits and gnats. They just keep nibbling at you. They nip you. Don't really hurt you, but they sting you. Get on base for the big guys. Straight away center field. Monday has a beat on it. And that ends the inning. So we go to the bottom half of the second inning. It's Yankees nothing and the Dodgers nothing. 2 up for the Dodgers. Steve Garvey, Ron Say, and Dusty Baker. Okay, that's a good idea. NBC is Garvey. Garvey was 2 for 5 last night. Wow, he really lost that bat right into the Dodger dugout. See Dusty Baker comes up with it.
There's some hitters that do that a lot. Tony Oliva was one I can recall. I've never seen Garvey do this. Let a few guys scatter. There's Dusty.
3-2 pitch. Center field. Thomason has plenty of room. Makes the play, and there's one out. You know, in Catfish Hunter's case, they always bring up the number of home runs allowed. He holds the American League record. I think that's one of the most ridiculous statistics kept for one of the reasons. Only a good pitcher can give up a lot of home runs, and a guy like this is always around the plate. He's not wild, and so you're going to hit a lot of home runs off pitches just off the plate.
You're not going to give up a lot of home runs if you don't pitch a lot of innings. That's exactly what you're saying, Joe. I mean, he's got to be a good pitcher to be out there that long to give up that many home runs.
Hot smash. Nettles backhands it like a vacuum cleaner down there. Say is out.
Nettles misses very few. He ranges both ways, right or left.
Number 12.
He does something for humility that he's got on his glove. He's got a big E5 put it on the back of his glove. So it kind of humbles him once in a while. He is something, though. He's good as anybody around down there.
Dusty Baker's a hitter, but let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Right center field. This is deep. Could be trouble. Canelo motions. He's got it right at the warning track. He took charge of that ball early. He was ready. He was there, made the play. Hunter, another perfect inning. 6 up, 6 down. So we complete 2 innings of baseball here. It's 0-0 in this second game of the World Series. And for the Yankees, it'll be Bucky Dent, Roy White, and Gary Thomason. Have a delay here. No score. And talking about Sunday, Bob Hope Special will be there, and Game 5. They say if necessary, but I think that's almost unnecessary to say if necessary, where these two teams play. Bucky Dent will lead it off. We're in the 3rd inning. There's the strike. Right on that outside corner. So Yankee players just felt like they were blown out of it, and the reaction was, what's the difference if you lose 20-0 or 1-0, referring to last night's game.
I think Greg Nettles' point was very well taken. He said, that's the kind of game you'd rather lose, you know, go ahead and lose 11-5. The heartbreaker is the one that really emotionally drains you, is that 2-1 game or that 3-2 game, the real close game where, you know, you're putting all that emotional energy into the ball game all the way up to the last out.
Popped up. Bill Russell going out. Calling for it, and there's one away. There was a story about a Yankee incident, and Kurt Gowdy has more details on that, so let's get it from Kurt.
Well, you know, Joe, it's been quiet time the last couple of months with the Yankees. They've just been playing and winning, but today on the bus, Mickey Rivers tried to take a friend on the bus. It's against the club policy. The traveling secretary, Bill Kane, and Mickey Rivers got into a shoving match. It was broken up by the manager, Bob Lemon, and Coach Elston Howard. Things are quiet again, but we did want to clear up the rumor that was sweeping around Dodger Stadium. That's it, Joe.
Okay, Kurt. I can't wait to see the movie and read about it in the paper. That'll be a beauty if they had a little shoving match, because there'll be more blows thrown in Ali Spink fight. Well hit. Nobody's going to get this one. Roy White rounds first here. Holds him up. Beautiful play by Monday. What a throw.
You saw the difference right there about the Dodger outfield versus the Yankee outfield. Kept right on going. Roy White has pretty good speed, although lately he's been bothered by an Achilles tendon pull. He wants to go. He goes almost halfway, but Monday makes such a good play. They will tell you that if it's to the glove side, left side, if it were a right-handed thrower, keep on going because he's got to turn all the way around to throw. But Monday backhanded it. It was right in position to throw. Good play.
Championship clubs will do that. They'll keep that double play in order on defense, stay away from it on offense. Here is Thomason. He takes it low and inside for ball one. He singled to center field his first time up. Thomason replacing Mickey Rivers. He was traded by the Giants to Oakland as part of the Vita Blue deal in March, acquired by the Yankees from Oakland for Del Alston and Mickey Klutz, June of '78. Left field, Dusty Baker should make the play easily. He does. You know, as a catcher, a lot of times you not only look where the hitter plants his feet and how close he is to the plate, you just watch his actions. How often does he look at the coach? Does he really stare at him, or does he just casually look at him? And the great shot we had, I don't know which camera took it, but whoever, you did a great job, because Thomason was staring at Hauser so much as if to say, you give me a sign, I don't know. And you know a bunt's not on, so it had to be a hit and run.
I haven't played too much lately, and I'm not too sure of the signs.
Yeah, exactly, Tom. Here's Munson getting set in there.
He's a guy's got the excellent plate coverage. You can pitch him sometimes 6 inches off the plate, and he can drill in the right field corner.
Takes this one inside for ball one. He doubled his last time up, doubled into left field. There's the strike. There's the way to watch the game. Be at the ballpark and get an aerial that works so you can have a picture.
That guy's having picture trouble, missed himself on TV.
His big chance for showbiz, and he lost it because he didn't have the right battery. Quick throw. Safe. That's an ad-lib play. A lot of times, as a catcher, you have the sign, first baseman will tell you, and you refer to it as "I'll be there," which means that if you as a catcher get the pitch, the first baseman will be there. I mean, it's not a pitch-out play.
Hooton now is beginning to stop a little bit more like pitchers are supposed to. The one pitch that White tried to go on, he went into that nice, leisurely, keep on going, don't take the full second stop.
There goes White now, and White will make it. Yeager couldn't come up with it, and White has himself a stolen base.
You know, I think right here, we've got to give Roy White some credit. Now, he rounded first base on that one play in the ball in the outfield when Mundy threw back, and he held up. That's a lot of experience to do that. He had one hit and run, and here he is now going to second base and getting himself down in scoring position. He doesn't do it on pure speed. What Roy White has done, how he's gotten to second base, is strictly experience and knowledge and know-how to play the game of baseball.
Roy White, 231 lifetime steals, second to Hal Chase on the all-time Yankee list. So on his quiet, positive way, he's compiling some records. That's fouled out of play. The count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Roy White at second base. No score, top of the third. Game 2 of this World Series. Dodgers won last night, 11-5. They travel to New York. Off day tomorrow, and then Friday night, Ron Guidry against Don Sutton. You'll see it all right here on NBC. Base on balls. I think he pitched around him, Tom. He wasn't going to give in to him. That's the guy he didn't want to have beat him.
You know that Reggie Jackson's up there. You know, Munson is so good as a situation hitter with men on base. He'll look, but he's going from the frying pan into the fire right here, where Reggie swings the bat.
Who do you think is more likely to get a hit, not a home run, Munson or Jackson?
Right now, Jackson. The percentages are in his favor.
Why?
The left-hander against a right-handed pitcher, and he tears the ball apart in World Series play.
Well, I disagree with you. I think that at this particular spot, when Munson up there just trying to get a base hit, Jackson can give you 3 quick runs, but if you needed a base hit, I would pick Munson. But then I'm here and he's there, right?
I tell you, he wanted that last pitch. He didn't want to walk through Munson and pitch to Reggie Jackson. He threw the pitch, and after he threw it, it was ball 4. He had a little genuflect on the mound, and he was upset.
Right field, Reggie Smith over. He cannot get it. It's a fair ball. And 1 run scores. Here comes Munson. They may have a play. The tag by tag. He missed him. He missed him, and Munson comes in standing up, and that may have been the difference.
I'll tell you what. Only a catcher might have made that base running play. We saw Lou Brock do it in the World Series a few years back, but as soon as Thurman Munson saw that Yeager had to go up the line, here's Reggie. He almost made one heck of a play on the line because he was playing deep. Cannot find the ball. Now he does. You can see the right field umpire Vargo saying, what a rifle he throws all the way to home plate. And Munson, by coming in standing up, probably made it. If he had slid, he'd have been tangled in the legs of Yeager might not even have seen home plate.
I think Yeager's got it blocked right there. He has got it blocked. The line, and Munson made a quick right turn. Look how he's got it blocked. He's looking for the slide.
I don't think he gets the ball, Joe. I think the ball bounces up into his chest. He doesn't get the ball in his glove, doesn't get control of the ball.
In the third inning, Jackson's up. Thurman Munson on first, Roy White on second. Jackson slashes a double to right. Reggie Smith bobbles the ball, allowing both runners to score.
He didn't have the ball, but he still got the plate blocked. You're right, Tom.
Definitely good running play by Thurman Munson, though.
I'll tell you another thing that you might call a mistake, but Reggie Smith threw the ball all the way in by himself. Garvey was out for cutoff. Of course, Steve doesn't have a good throwing arm, but still he was out there in cutoff position, and the ball took about 5 bounces.
And with this, boys, let's remember that the man, Reggie Jackson, I tell you, there's something about October. He just gets the job done. 1 strike, 2 outs, 2-0. Yankees have taken the lead. He took something off. You know that Munson, you remember the play he made when he just tagged up from third base, a little pop fly to the infield in the playoffs. Just nobody can help you on that play. You have to do it yourself.
He's as sound of base runners as the Yankees have, even though he doesn't possess the good speed.
Did he get it?
No.
Appeal play. Bill Haller was screened, and he got the play from the third base umpire, Frank Pulley.
That's very good work by the umpires. You watch the umpire behind the plate, Bill Haller, and he's going to ask right away. Now, he knows there's some confusion whether the ball did go into the dirt. You can see it in the dirt right there. It's underneath the glove. And
what an acting job by Yeager. That was great.
Haller goes right down to Frank Pulley, and Pulley said no, foul ball.
Jackson was helping too. High fastball. Nettles is out on strikes. That ends the inning, but the Yankees have a good one as they score 2. We go to the bottom of the third. It's New York 2, Dodgers nothing, and for the Dodgers, Rick Monday, Lee Lacy, and Steve Yeager.
Bill Hollywood is just down the road, and boy, is this a setting for what a dramatic moment in the picture, as the most effective World Series batter on either club, and for many a year, is now coming to the plate. The first time Hooton got him swinging, but you know that Reggie loves the stage.
Well, of his 8 World Series homers, 7 of them have come against the Dodgers, and 4 right here at this ballpark. Runners lead off first and second. Pitch to Jackson. Swung on, drilled down the right field line. Smith is after it and can't get to it. 1 run will score. The ball's lost by Smith. Now he picks it up, throws home, Munson around third, and he scores. And the Yankees now lead 2-0. Reggie Jackson ending up at second base.
That's popped up straight back. It'll be out of play.
Rick Monday, the hitter at the plate against Catfish Hunter right now, play together on the same team with the Oakland A's, American League pennant team. And I asked him if he learned anything playing behind Catfish Hunter. He said, I learned more about pitching in 1 game playing behind him than anywhere else. And that was the day he pitched the perfect game against the Twins in 1968.
Pulled way foul by Monday. You know, World Series, everybody really gets into the act. Such a big spectacle. In fact, Phil Silver's had the greatest line. He said, how can you close a hit show after 7 days playing to capacity crowds? That's the kind of hit. And the reason I bring that up, this morning in the paper they had biorhythms, as we look at Reggie Jackson, and they observed that Rick Monday should be effective early because his cycles are up in all areas. So we look at Mickey Rivers, who is there he is.
The reason he's playing is because of a not playing because of a pull leg muscle, not the thing that happened on the bus.
Tony, I thought maybe that Bob Lemon had read this because it said Mickey Rivers and Reggie Jackson, if they were not such outstanding players, should sit the series out. Both are in low cycles. Chased the low ball. And that's the first strikeout.
Batting game, number 34.
You recognize that fella? Vince Bajetta, that's who that is. Vincenzo Bajetta. He's the star of NBC's new series, The Eddie Capra Mysteries. Vince is from the Bronx. Gotta be with a name like that, huh? Yankee fan. You'll see him, the Eddie Capra Mysteries, this Friday, 10 to 11, right after the Rockford Files. That a boy, Vincenzo. Nice to smile. Vince Biggetta, one of the upcoming stars, as Lee Lacy. Up there with a count of strike one. Hit well to right field, but Piniella is there. He makes the play.
You know, one of the amazing things about Catfish this year that he underwent some manipulation for his right shoulder. He couldn't even get his arm back past his right shoulder, and they put him to sleep. He went in and they manipulated his shoulder and tore all the adhesions out around his shoulder, around the cuff of his shoulder and everything. Packed his arm in ice for about 4 hours, and then he went out and threw. Started throwing a little bit every day. He was 9-2 going down the stretch. It's an incredible story. He said he got up after they'd put him to sleep. He got up and moved his shoulder, and he said it didn't hurt. First time it hadn't hurt since the first day of spring training. Amazing. Yeager takes it, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Dodgers lead 2-0.
One thing about Thurman Munson behind the plate, Joe, and I know you know a lot more about it than I do, he keeps his pitcher in the groove.
He does everything with a lot of confidence. Look at him. Look where he's gone. And when he missed out of the strike zone. He didn't miss into the fat part of the plate, and that to me is the sign of the good pitcher. If you're going to miss away.
You know, baseball is a bunch of funny little things. You see him shaking his head there? He wants Catfish to shake his head, so Yeager sees him shaking his head. This cat and mouse game between the pitcher and the hitter is one of the most beautiful things in baseball. The communication between the catcher and the pitcher. Every little move means something, or maybe it doesn't mean something to the hitter, and it can all be deception.
Baseball really is a game you never see. You just look for these little subtle hints. High. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Thurman says, well, all right, we'll try it again. So I'd like to have that one.
He wasn't shaking his head that time.
No.
Catfish Hunter.
That was for the man behind him.
He was not turning on Haller. He was letting his opinion be known. Catfish is retired 8 in a row.
Off the end of the bat. Nice play by Nettles. Here's the throw. Couldn't get him, and Yeager is safe. Had to been some play, Tony.
Oh, you bet. He does this regularly, Greg Nettles. Not throw the ball wide like that, but he dives right and left so well. When you look where he started from, he was playing Yeager pretty close to the line. It was a breaking ball. Watch this play. How he ever got it, you'll never know. He rights himself in for a little bit of a single. Spencer got the in-between hop. He's an excellent fielding first baseman, but couldn't pick the ball out. It's a first base hit for the Dodgers. What a try by Greg Nettles. Wonder why he was voted the all-time great Yankee shortstop. It's one of the reasons.
Watching that replay, I'm always amazed that when you land like he did, why you wouldn't jar the ball loose when your elbows hit, to be able to maintain control. But he did. Couldn't make the throw. Yeager is on. Here is Lopes. Takes it high. Ball 1. 2 men out. 2-0. Yankees out in front. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. First time up, Lopes fouled to the 3rd baseman, Yeager. They're playing behind him. He's no threat to run. It's popped up, maybe playable. Near the Yankee dugout, it is out of play.
I think a while ago on that replay, I said all-time Yankee shortstop. I guess I had in my mind that Greg Nettles, the 1 3rd baseman, I think could play shortstop with his range.
I bet he could, too.
He's one of those guys. Frank Malzone was that way from the Red Sox. Started out as a shortstop, but then somebody else came along, so they moved him to 3rd, but he could have stayed at short.
You know, he's still a little bit irritated about that play. He really takes a lot of pride in that 3rd base, Tony, doesn't he?
1-1 pitch. Center field. Going back, Thomason. On the warning track. Makes the catch. Nice play by Gary Thomason in center field. That ends the inning for the Dodgers. They do not score. So at the end of 3, it's 2-0, the Yankees over the Dodgers. And for the Yankees in the 4th, Lou Piniella, Jim Spencer, and Brian Doyle. Send home. Expect to find that on a postcard. Very picturesque here at Dodger Stadium. A lot of cars, a lot of people, a lot of fans enjoying The second game of the 1978 World Series, and we have this creepy shot from way up there. It gives you a panoramic view of everything. 2-0. Yankees lead. We're in the top of the fourth. Hooton against Piniella.
There's Thomason making the last catch that inning off Davy Lopes. Davy Lopes showing more power to the opposite field, too. He usually pulls the ball with authority.
There was a good shot of a knuckle curveball. Did you see that thing break down? Well, how can they say a curveball is an optical illusion? I tell you, scientifically, I guess they say it, but well hit, but got under it. Baker has room, waiting. 1 out.
Piniella hit the ball real well in batting practice, Joe. Dusty Baker out in left field, and the first time up, he hit that ball a long way out to right center field, and they're pretty deep, probably about 300 down the left field line.
Burt Hooton in command, as is Catfish Hunter. Hooton, a big guy, 200-pounder, 28 years old, born in Greenville, Texas, lives in Fullerton, California. Quite an athlete, this fella. Jim Spencer takes it inside, ball 1. Hooton attended the University of Texas, majoring in business. Outstanding pitching record, too, those 3 years, 35-3. I would say that's outstanding. That's popped up way up there, and Davy Lopes was going to wait for it. In fact, he looked away one time. That was about look at him. He's still unsure. That was about as high as you hit him. That's some reaction you just got. Did you ever feel that way, Tone?
Those are easy during the season, but there are pressures at World Series time. It's kind of that haze in the air, and it's not quite twilight, but you got partial light and partial dark, and that's the time of the day when the balls get way up there, sometimes above the lights, but you might lose it for a split second.
Brian Doyle hits the first pitch, base hit, right field. I tell you, in the defensive setup, Tony talked about Brian Doyle and used the word frightened, and we all understood, having gone through it. But he pecks and he gets a bat on that ball.
Well, everybody knows his brother Denny was a big league ball player. He's got a twin brother named Blake. And I asked him, are they here at the game? He said, no, they're opening a baseball school in Winter Haven, Florida. That's what they're doing right now. But you better believe they're watching.
Oh, are they ever? Here is Bucky Dent. He popped to the shortstop his first time up. 2 men out, 1 man on, 2-0. Yankees are leading the Dodgers in the fourth. Yeager, he was cocked. He was ready to throw. Bucky Dent came over from the White Sox. Hit that big home run against the Red Sox. There's the strike.
Burt Hooton's got a funny delivery at home plate all the way from the left side of that rubber and really arches that back. And look at that hand come over the top. I think I'd have a sore back at the end of the game if I pitched like that.
Bouncing ball to Russell. He's going to go to first in time. So Dent is out. Russell to Garvey. That ends the fourth inning. So as we go into the bottom half of the fourth inning, it's 2-0. The Yankees over the Dodgers. It'll be Bill Russell, Reggie Smith. Series, we look at Bill Russell. Strike 1. If there is no Game 5, additional regional games will be added to the schedule, but everybody's got to believe that I don't think either club can win 4 straight. That's the way I feel about it. And then the Bob Hope comedy special that night. We'll get some laughs. Base hit, left field. Bill Russell gets it started. So that brings up Reggie Smith. Smith popped in the second baseman. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Nobody out. Bill Russell at first. Reggie Smith. And there's starting to holler here. Reggie. Strike 1, much like they do for Reggie Jackson in Yankee Stadium. We'll hear plenty of that on Friday night. Guidry against Sutton. That'll be a dandy. Bouncing ball. Nettles goes to second. Doyle can only make one. He was playing way over, and he had no chance, Tony.
That might be the toughest player, one of the toughest a second baseman can make. With Reggie, a pull hitter, Doyle was shaded over, as you said, Joe. He had a long way to run, but he circled it nicely. He went a little bit outside, came straight at Nettles, so he could make an accurate throw. Many times, a shortstop who is closer to the bag will take the throw on that kind of play.
Boy, there was a lot of almost dance steps in there, shades of Edward Villela, who did that Baseball World show, how close the ballet and the shortstop and second baseman, how closely related. Here is Steve Garvey now. He flied to center field his first time up. Hot smash. What a play by Nettles. Here's a throw. Take.
Well, the two men who went to the left and the right of Nettles were both safe, but it's worth the price of admission tonight to see him do this. He went in front of the shortstop one time, now almost to the foul line. Garvey showed a lot of hustle just beating it out. But what a glove that man has.
Oh, to make that play so close. John Kibler was the umpire at first base right on top of it. Tremendous play, Tom.
You guys have talked about it all year. I hear Tony talking about Greg Nettles, and of course I played with him a long time ago, even before we got into professional baseball. One of the things I miss is not seeing some of these guys in the American League. He has really amazed me with some of the plays he's made just in 2 games of the World Series.
So it's base runners now at first and second, 1 man out, 2-0 with Ron Say the batter. That's certainly reminiscent what Nettles did of Brooks Robinson when he held that clinic in Baltimore during the World Series on how to play third. Ball. Reggie Smith at second. Garvey's at first. 1 man out, 2-0. Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Say bounced out his first time up. Base hit, center field. Here comes Reggie Smith around third. Garvey will stop at second. It's 2-1 Yankees. See Reggie Smith, he has scored the first run for the Dodgers. Ron Say at first, 1 man out, and Dusty Baker is the hitter. Dusty had a big night last night. He was 3 for 4 with a big home run. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners lead, they're going. Bouncing ball to Nettles. Tags him over to first. It is a double play. Nettles tagged Garvey. Pulley motion out, fired to first, a double play. So that ends the inning. Yankees 2, Dodgers 1 at the end of 4.
You know, Tony, you've talked about Greg Nettles, as I said before. He made 3 super plays already in this game. They're tagging Steve Garvey and on to first base for the double play.
He does it all the time.
He's an incredible third baseman. He's really impressed me in just the 2 games that I've seen him here.
When you see him, Tom, day after day, we saw the Yankees a lot near the end of the season on our game of the week. They become routine. They cover so much ground, the diving and jumping up. Well, we got a heck of a pitcher's duel. Hooton versus Catfish Hunter. 5th inning, it's Roy White, Gary Thomason, Thurman Munson. 2-1, Roy White ahead on the count of Burt Hooton. There he is, World Series record 77 last year against the Yankees. 1 win, 1 loss. White chops it foul to Gene Michaels. The stick. You will see a lot of changing of baseballs. Whenever a ball hits in the dirt in this ballpark, or chopped as it was foul, the hitters will request the ball be changed. A few years back, they changed from the tougher horsehide cover to that cowhide. Doesn't seem to be as durable. Scuffs up a little bit more. 2-2 pitch to White. 3-2.
Also in this park, Tony, that area down there in front of home plate, as we mentioned last night, a lot of clay and a lot of crushed brick down there, and the balls will get very obvious red spots on them.
White hits the 3-2 pitch high to short center field. Russell waves Lopes off. 1 out. Well, right now, a different perspective. Kirk Gowdy down on the field.
And the perspective, Tony, from the commissioner's office, Bowie Kuhn. Bowie, the slogan of baseball this year was baseball fever in '78, and there was a fever, wasn't it?
Kurt, I think there was a great fever in baseball this year among the fans, a very healthy thing for our game. We saw 40 million people drawn in Major League Baseball. Both leagues went over 20 million. You know, it used to be a club drew 1 million. I thought that was great. The average Major League club today draws 1,600,000 people. So, yeah, I think the fever was there.
Quick, when you're in charge of the World Series, what's the worst problem that could happen to you?
Oh, you worry about weather more than anything else. You worry about rain, as we had in Boston a couple of years ago. Weather, I think, is the worst thing you're concerned with.
Thank you, Commissioner Kuhn. And now back to Tony Kubek.
All right, thank you, Kirk Gowdy. Commissioner Kuhn. 2 strikes to count on Gary Thompson. Well, the weather in New York today, they tell us, was clear at about 70 degrees. A perfect fall day. We hope it sticks when we get there. For game number 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Thomason with 1 out. The Yankees 2, the Dodgers 1. We're in the 5th.
Tony, we're getting some great shots here, and I appreciate this one, but the shot we had when you guys were talking about the ball being scuffed up, there was a subliminal message there because the player standing on the rail was Don Sutton, who was professor of the scuffed up balls.
Chopper by Thomason. Garvey to Hooton out number 2. Good knuckle curveball again. Had Thomason driving it in the dirt. To bring up Thurman Munson, who was doubled. He's also walked and scored a run, which looms as a big run as the Yankees now lead 2-1 over the Dodgers.
Tony, both pitchers pitching extremely well. Catfish Hunter and Burt Hooton. Both of them keeping ahead of the hitters. Last night you saw Ed Figueroa come out, continually be behind the Dodger hitters and get crunched. He got crunched last night. Tonight, Burt Hooton ahead of his hitters, getting good pitches, moving the ball in, moving the ball out, and keeping it down. Catfish Hunter's doing the same type of thing.
1 strike to Thurman. The Yankees scored their 2 runs in the 3rd inning when after 1 out, that was Dent. White single, Thompson flied out, Munson walks, and Reggie Jackson hit one in the right field corner, and Munson kept on coming for the Yankees 2. Hit, but foul. Hit it very hard, but kept on hooking. So Hooton way ahead, no balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Tony, I would think that, thinking about Thurman, how about, he's got stitches in his finger and stitches in his chin, and he's got pulled this and a hurt knee and that and stuff, and certain guys are extremely durable. Other guys,
what a pitch. It was strike 3 as a knuckle curve in the dirt. Munson swung at it, but the ball got by Yeager. Yeager had no chance on it, so Munson's on with 2 outs. What a hellacious knuckle curveball.
Knuckle curveball, and Thurman on strike 3. Yeager had absolutely no chance at it whatsoever. Of course, the batter in this situation, there's strike 3, and the tries to check swing. He's on base for sure.
You think Lightning's going to strike with, remember Mickey on, Tommy Henrich, and the Yankees really went on and score a bunch of runs? That's the first thing that flashes in your mind.
That's something to get a strikeout and get charged with a wild pitch, but that's what happened. So now it's Reggie Jackson, a strikeout, and a big base hit driving home 2, the only 2 Yankee runs. There are 2 outs. We're in the 5th. Look out, Reggie. He came inside to brush him back. Jackson hangs tight in the batter's box.
Fastball up and in, Tony. At this situation, the pitcher is not trying to hit the batter. They're trying to move the hitter back off the plate. You certainly don't want to put another runner down in scoring position.
Once Reggie plants those feet, he stays pretty well planted. He was hit by pitches 9 times during the regular season. That led the Yankee ball club. So now he's down at first base talking to Gene Michaels, the first base coach. Munson moves to second with 2 outs. And it brings up Greg Nettles, who's put on quite a defensive show so far today with 3 outstanding plays. But at the bat, he's grounded out and he's struck out. 1 strike to Greg. Look at the ball,
That always knocks me out. The catcher gets hit with a foul tip, and the umpire looks at the ball. Is the ball hurt? How do you feel, ball? Oh, you're all right? Okay. Oh, the dummy behind the plate? Well, I won't worry about him later.
Nettles, when he was with the Minnesota Twins, came up as a 3rd baseman, but they moved him to the outfield. The reason why, they had Harmon Killebrew there, was hitting about 40 home runs a year. 1 strike, 2 outs. Might have been a straight change, 0-2. Talking about Reggie Jackson getting hit by that pitch as we look at Munson at second. Reggie's down at first base. There's your line score. Don Baylor led the American League hit by pitch with 18. Reggie Jackson and Ron Jackson. They're tied at 9 for second. 0-2 pitch. Will he go after him? He did. He went far enough. So Hooton makes a tough pitch on Nettles to retire the side. The Yankees now lead as we go to the last to the fifth. 2-1 over the Dodgers. Coming up, Rick Monday, Lee Lacy, and one strike on Rick Monday. Good change of speeds. Good curveball. Had Monday way out in front. Hunter almost missed the bag when he came over to tag it, but they did retire Monday.
Just nicked the bag as they went by, and a good play from Jim Spencer. There's the ball to Spencer. One of the pitcher's principal responsibilities after he delivers the ball is get over to first base. The umpire right in position saw him kick the top of the bag. He almost missed it, but he got it. Jim, a very good fielder. As I talked about him before, an extremely aggressive pitcher, very confident pitcher. Bounces off that well, and a very good fielder after he delivers the ball.
And now it's Lee Lacy, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, the designated hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Hunter not only is a good pitcher and a good fielder, but one time he was a good hitter. Lacy pops it up. Doyle should have an easy play. 2 outs. In fact, the perfect game that we talked about that he pitched against the Twins in 1968, Catfish Hunter drove in the winning run. He was paid extra money for being a pinch hitter by Charlie Finley. Steve Yeager. Hunter with exceptional control today. They pressured him in the 4th inning when the Dodgers scored their only run. His control record over a lifetime. There's Steve Yeager. What he did in the series last year, not known as a hitter, but he had a good RBI series last season. Hunter's control over the career, he averaged walking per 9 innings about 2.5 per ball game, and that is outstanding, as many innings as he pitches. 2 outs in Dodger Stadium. Hunter pitching to Yeager. 2-2 count. Good slider, down and away, bad pitch, so Hunter sends the Dodgers down, 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. The score, the Yankees lead over the Dodgers 2-1 as we go to the 6th. And coming up for the Yankees, it'll be Lou Piniella, Jim Spencer.
There is Joe Lasorda, Tommy's wife, Mrs. Lasorda, of course. Joe's listening to the radio. And there he is. He's a piece of architecture, this guy.
Does he draw a crowd? The man he reminds me most of, and you played for him and I did. Whenever Casey Stengel went to the ballpark, there were cameras, lights, tape recorders, writers, and Lasorda is the same way. He can really draw. Lou Piniella, Jim Spencer, Brian Doyle in the 6th inning to face Burt Hooton. One heck of a ball game. The Yankees 2, the Dodgers 1. We're in the 6th. Piniella has hit the ball hard twice. Once deep to right field, once deep to left. Pulled foul, a knuckle curve. 1 strike. Piniella is an excellent fastball hitter, but he can also hit the breaking ball when he's looking for it. He's one of these guys, and both teams have them, situation hitters. They'll watch a pitcher, they'll study him. Ground ball could be a tough play. Russell cannot find a handle, but I doubt if he would have thrown Piniella out anyway. Would have had to be an excellent throw by Russell to get him, so Pinella's on.
Billy had to go deep in the hole on this. It was another knuckle curve. Lou hit a fastball, and the first time up all the way out to right field. Billy went deep in the hole, and even if he had come up clean to that ball, there's no way he'd get the runner at first base.
So the Yankees get the leadoff hitter on, Piniella in the 6th. There's Russell, and he showed you a lot of range. Yes, he does make some errors and erratic throws at time, but he goes well in either direction. Jim Spencer, Piniella being held by Garvey. That'll give Spencer, the left-hand hitter, a big hole between Lopes and Garvey. Spencer really has DH'd when most of the times he's played this year. He really played 4 games starting at first base. Jammed him in foul territory. Say should have a play. Piniella going back to tag up. Say gets it in front of the dugout. There's 1 out. They bring up Brian Doyle.
Second base, Brian and Doyle.
Ron Say is very sure-handed. He doesn't cover the ground that Nettles does. Few do. But if he can get to a ball, he doesn't miss it. His arm is strong and very accurate.
Got a good chance to see a play here, Tony, to stay away from that double play, because Brian Doyle can handle that bat. He's really giving Dick Hauser a good look. Whenever a fella is not playing every day, you really study the way he takes signals from the third base coach.
Well, he's flied out, and he got his first World Series base hit in the 4th. Ground ball, Lopes left. He might get run. He bobbles the ball, could not get the lead runner. And he does get Doyle. So with 2 outs, the Yankees have another man in scoring position.
We saw it last night, Tony. We saw the Dodgers. They had very good offense, good pitching, an error by Lopes and an error by Russell. And here again, Davey almost makes an error in that play.
Davey started to pivot completely around to get the lead runner. When he did, he might have left the ball a little too soon. Then he had to settle for the out at first base. So bring up Bucky Dent with 2 outs. Burt Hooton's wife watching very intently as Burt goes 3-0 with 2 outs on Dent, the man in scoring position.
Pitcher definitely doesn't want to get in this situation, Tony, when you're down to pitching to the 9th man in the order and you run to 3-0 and 3-1. If you walk in, you got a left-hander coming up.
Oh, close pitch, but it's not 3-2.
He's come back good and even, got the count even for himself, saying that 1 pitch either way, and he definitely does not want to walk Bucky Dent and pitch to Roy White.
So it's 3-2, 2 outs. Pannella at second. Hooton looking for another big pitch to get Bucky Dent on 3-2. He went breaking ball 3-2. Fouled out of play. Everybody talks about scouting reports, Tom, and what they mean. I thought Hooton and Hunter both had excellent theories. They say, yes, we look at them, but Hooton is so confident. He took the positive vein, which is always the best. He said, the odds are with the pitcher. The one who needs the briefing are the batters. He said, I'm going to pitch my ball game. There's no sense changing now, and I've been successful all year. Fouled off again.
How much faith did you put in these scouting reports, Tom?
When I got into a series, when I didn't know the hitters that I was going to be seeing, Joe, I looked for what the hitter's biggest strength was, and I wanted to know what his weakness was. But for the most part, you applied your strengths to those 2 aspects that a hitter has when he goes into the batter's box.
And he checked. Hey, an appeal to first base umpire, John Kibler. And Kibler says, yes, he did go far enough around. Dent is upset, but they leave Pannella stranded. We go to the last of the 6th. There you see the play. Dent goes after it. That is the toughest call for any umpire, and Haller did the wise thing. He asked for Kibler. We'll go to the last of the 6th. The Yankees still lead over the Dodgers, 2-1. You can see the disgust on Bucky Dent as the man was in scoring position. There are the men coming up. Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, Reggie Smith. Now with Davey Lopes leading it off. Start to stir just a little. Hunter's first pitch. Drills it by Greg Dennis, so Davey Lopes is on for the Dodgers to lead off the 6th. Hunter, he's even backing up that play, backing up the throw-in from the outfield.
That Davey Lopes is a first ball hitter. It might be the best first ball hitter in the league.
That was a breaking ball. Might have been a slider. Wasn't a fastball.
Just what you were talking to him about in the pregame interview, Tom, about looking for pitches. What do you do? He knows what he wants to do before he walks into that batter's box.
The hitter might walk up to home plate, look for a ball from the middle half in. He might walk up and look for a ball from the middle of the plate out. Makes up his mind. Many hitters will make up their mind before they get up there.
All right. Hunter knows Davey Lopes stole 45 bases during the regular season, was caught just 4 times. Russell up there might be taking some pitches, but he might jump all over Catfish too. Squared around a bunt, but it was a below breaking ball. 1 ball to Russell. I'll tell you one thing, that puts a first baseman in a very vulnerable position, because if he leaves too soon, an attempted bunt, Lopes might get that extra edge. He has a big lead off first base. Popped up in the air. Is he going to trap it? Couldn't. I think he had ideas, but he could not trap it because it was foul. Jim Spencer, very alert. We've seen him trap the ball and double men up.
Right fielder, Reggie Smith.
Watch how he bunts it. He just bunted up. That was not a good attempt. I remember that great description about to bunt the ball. It's like catching the ball with the bat. You just deaden it. It sounds so simple, but it is a tough play, and many times that bunt will do the job of a 3-base hit. And right here, it's put the Dodgers in a bit of a jackpot.
So now with 1 out, it's Reggie Smith. Lopes at first. The Dodgers trail by a round. Hunter with a pretty quick move to first base. He also delivers pretty quickly to home plate, which might give Munson a little more chance if Lopes is going. He's holding. Fouled off. With Smith up, the left-handed hitter, they might think twice to send Davey. to keep that hole open. You can see Spencer holding him on. But you never know with Lasorda nor the Dodgers.
Another thought here, Tony, that's going through Catfish's mind. He knows he's got a guy at first base that can run well, Davey Lopes. He's got to think he's got to get the ball to home plate fast, quickly. Reggie Smith now is up there. I'm going to see more fastballs because I got a guy at first that can run. So I'm going to get a fastball maybe in a situation.
I'm not sure. Munson is one of these catchers who does not really care that much about the base stealer. He would rather have the pitcher concentrate on the hitter. So he's not going to let up even though Lopes steals. Drilled in the right field. So Smith has a base hit. Lopes is charging for third base. The Dodgers are first and third and one out. And the crowd is reacting. He had a breaking pitch. Bring up Darby. Reggie Smith is playing this season in a weakened condition. They're giving him a hand for a base hit. No fans here in Dodger Stadium. Hunter had a tough inning in the fourth when the Dodgers scored their only run. They left two stranded. He's back in trouble again with one out, runners on first and third. And Darby, who was flied out and singled up. Oh, he had a high breaking ball.
Look out, look out, look out.
Right above our cameraman. Mario, you should have had that call. Reggie Smith at first, held by Spencer. Darby, one of the toughest clutch hitters in all of baseball, and he's facing a man who's been in this situation many times before, the Cat, Jim Hunter. Breaking ball, popped up. Munson should have a play. Somebody's coming home. They all better be. Munson's got it, 2 down, so they get Darby. And Hunter was right there in case somebody Lopes with his great speed and daring might have tried to score. So they're 2 down. And it's Ron Say, another tough RBI there.
Tony, I thought that Reggie Smith might try for second where it would have placed Munson in a dilemma. That was an Eddie Stanky play. What do you do now?
That's why Munson got the ball back. Watch how quickly he gets the ball back to the plate. The Catfish Hunter. He throws it to Hunter and he says, okay, Reggie, now go. We've only got half the distance to go to second base.
What do you do if the guy breaks at first base? If you haven't thought that play out, you could really be in big, big trouble because that fellow on third's watching all this, and Davey Lopes could certainly take advantage of it.
Your ball. Now there's Lopes at third with a lot of speed. 2 outs. Way inside. He moves Say back. Hunter has had one of the most impressive records of pitchers in recent years. He's had a perfect game. He told you about that. Earned run average title in 73. Cy Young Award in 74. 5 20-win seasons in a row, 1971 through 75, and he also completed 30 ball games for the Yankees in 1975. He's been worth every penny the Yankees have paid for him. Big pitch, 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0, Ron Say way ahead. Whoa, watch it, baby. You gotta see that ball over the head of Catfish Hunter. Brian Doyle was backing up the play, as most good infielders will. One of those plays where it never happened, but the one time it does with a man on third, you're done. Say, 2-0 pitch. He changed up. Did he get enough of it? Left center field, way right back. Hold on for Ron Say. The Dodgers take the lead.
When he was throwing to Garvey, he got pitches up in the strike zone, and here he throws a hanging slider. Hits that ball all the way out to the left field bleachers. There's Davey Lopes. He knows it's gone. Nettles, of course, like last night, he knows it's gone.
They want Ronnie Say to come out of the dugout. He's already done that. He took a bow.
Now, Catfish Hunter will pitch to Ron Say, who was hitless in 3 trips last night. He had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. Fly ball, hit well to left. Pinella going back. It is gone. Home run, Ron Say. Game 2.
Dodger Stadium, where a healthy Catfish Hunter is a different pitcher than the man the Dodgers humbled last year. He coaxes a 2-1 lead into the 6th as he pitches against an old nemesis, Ron Cey.
Curveball hit deep to left center. Roy White is over. That ball is gone.
Remembrance of things past. The Penguin swallows the Catfish once again. With this 3-run shot and an earlier single in the 4th, Cey knocked in all 4 Dodger runs. Hunter pitched well, but tonight Cey owns Hunter, and seemingly that's enough.
A dramatic home run by Ron Cey to give the Dodgers the lead, 4-2. A 2-0 pitch with 2 outs. Second series home run. He hit one against Hunter last year. Fouled off, out of play by Dusty Baker. Ron Cey. He seems at the end of each year, he has some hot streaks, cold streaks. There's your score, your line score for the second game of the 1978 World Series. But Cey seems to end up near 100 RBIs every year. He'll have the cold streak, but they get red hot. He did that in September. 1-1 now to Dusty Baker. 2-1. Gossage has been throwing in the bullpen for the Yankees. There's Bob Lemon, a Hall of Famer. Breaking ball hit deep to left field again. He might have got under it as it goes over to the stands, but White has a play. So that's 3 outs. Everybody stood on the field kind of stunned for a while, and I almost messed up. But the Dodgers now have the lead as we go to the 7th. 4-2 the Dodgers. Due up. Roy White, Gary Thomason, and Thurman Munson for the Yankees. And we'll be back after these.
Thank you, Ron Cey. You know, I didn't feel too good last inning fouling out with runners on 1st and 3rd and 1 out. But the Penguin picked me up and gave us a 4-2 lead. We'd been hitting the ball hard off a Catfish, and after the home run, we were feeling pretty confident. Now let's move ahead to the 7th inning with the top of the Yankee order coming up.
Dodgers on a big blast by Ron Cey have taken the lead. This crowd really buzzing now. There's Roy White, takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Yankees had 2 runs in that 3rd inning. Catfish Hunter going right along. Ron Cey. White takes it low. Tom, you were talking about how he was getting that ball up.
I think he got away with a couple pitches there last inning before he made that one fatal mistake that really hurts him. Catfish, of course, does give up a lot of home runs.
1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on. Roy White. A little looper. That's a pretty good piece of hitting right there. He handled a very tough pitch inside and went to the opposite field.
That's the toughest one, the one inside and up. You can kind of get the bat head trailing and get your hands out in front, but the one down and in, which is what that looked like, that's almost impossible at times to hit to the opposite field, but White does it, Tommy. You know, he's one of the unsung heroes. He got a base hit up there last time, and here it is, 3-2, and that's a tough pitch to hit. Look at that. That pitch is down. That's almost out of the strike zone, and he flares it off to left field.
Do you think he had his mind made up that he was going that way all the way?
He was just trying to get a piece of it, hit it somewhere. Trying to wait as long as he could before he committed himself.
He's leading off the inning, and he knows his job's to get on base, not to hit, not to hit a home run double or whatever. As Tommy Lasorda's on his way to the mound now, checking on Burt Hooton.
Sometimes the pitcher will tell the manager while he's in the dugout, hey, I'm a little bit tired. Watch me if they start something. You've done that, I'm sure, Tom.
That's exactly correct. Many times in a long inning, let's say on a cool night, a pitcher might have a tendency to stiffen up. You call the manager out and say, listen, I can't get loose or whatever. Take me out of here. Give me some help.
You mentioned, Tom, yesterday, the league you played in Alaska. Burt Hooton played up there. He played for the Boulder Collegians, pitched against Chambliss, who was with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. There's some pretty good players came out of that league, that summer league.
Some pretty good names.
Isn't that something?
There are a lot of players that have played up in that league. A lot of guys in the big leagues right here that have played in Major League Baseball.
You're seeing something pretty interesting now. Lasorda is stalling for time, and what he does a lot of times, he did it to McSherry. He said things like, John, you're an umpire, and I'm pinch hitter coming up, Paul Blair. Blair will be batting for Thomason. We've got nobody out. Roy White is on at first base. And Paul Blair against Terry Forster, who came in last night. Hard throwing left-hander.
How you throwing, Happy?
Throwing good. I just trying to get the ball down that time. Still throwing good.
You're still throwing good, huh?
First 2 or 3 in it.
Yeah, well,
That's a fact.
it's only natural.
We're bringing that in for series, I guess.
Beg pardon?
We're just bringing that in for the series. You guys can all stay here all
Oh,
the
I
time.
didn't know the rule on that. What is
I know
that?
you didn't. I say that's
Yeah.
we're going to put
How's
the
your brother
series.
Stats, Bill?
Stats?
Yeah, Hats, yeah.
You want to be a pitcher?
Well, I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I mean, this is the World Series. You got to give me a little time. I got to make a decision here. But what do you think I should do? Take him out or leave him in? All right, I'm going to take him in. Who? Forster, the left-hander.
We've got a pinch hitter coming up, Paul Blair. Blair will be batting for Thomason. We've got nobody out. Roy White is on at first base. And Paul Blair against Terry Forster, who came in last night. Hard throwing left-hander. 4-2, Dodgers lead the Yankees. Game 2. Well hit, left center field. Overfast Monday. Can't get it. It bounces into the stands. It's a 2-base hit for Paul Blair, and Roy White will stop at third.
That's a break, too, because Roy White was standing on second base. If that ball rattled around the fence and not bounced in, chances are he would have scored. Here's Rick Monday, who got a good job, but the ball is just out of his reach, as you'll see. Missed it by a hair, and right there it bounces in. White might have scored, Tommy.
Rick Money's got tremendous range in center field, very good speed, another great angle from another camera we have here with NBC. And it was a lucky break. That ball did bounce over. The Yankees would be just 1 run down at this point.
So Thurman Munson is the batter now with base runners at second and third. The tying runs are on. 4-2 is the score. Nobody out. Munson, who doubled in the first inning, walked and scored, and then struck out, but the ball got by Yeager, and he was safe at first. A wild pitch being charged to Hooton. Strike 1. You know that Paul Blair left that bench saying, this guy, he's not going to try to finesse me. He's going to try to blow it by him, and he jumped on that first pitch.
Munson's the best hitter on this club for getting a man in from third base with less than 2 outs.
Strike on that outside corner. Munson doesn't believe it, and he's going to go back and regroup. And he'll start talking to himself. Now, that was not a good pitch. I don't care what he says, but I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to wait for a good pitch.
Dodgers are conceding the run, especially at short at second. Say might come home, maybe Garvey, but short and second, they're going to give it to him.
2 strikes, nobody out. Tying runs are on. White's at third, Blair's at second. Struck him out. Big strikeout.
Thurman's having a big discussion with Haller on 1 call pitch. This one is out of the strike zone. A tough fastball that really took off on Thurman. Thurman did not have the big home run nor RBI this year, and most of the time was because of the injury to his shoulder, assorted other injuries, a knee. He's been disappointed with his year, but he's played right through it all.
Now he got it going. Reggie Jackson is the batter, a good fastball hitter against Forster, a good fastball pitcher. 1 man out. White's at third, Blair's at second. 4-2, Dodgers in front. Jackson struck out, doubled, and is hit by a pitch ball. Jammed in, got it by him, strike 1.
Joe, I was talking to Red Adams, the Dodger pitching coach, and he said he would be reluctant. He didn't think that Forster would be able to pitch tonight because of that problem that he's had with his elbow. He has a very tender elbow that Tony talked about last night, and he needs kind of a day's rest. And Red Adams preferred not to use Forster tonight if he could get away with it.
Bouncing ball to Lopes. He'll go to first. Jackson is out, but the run scores. And moving the third is Paul Blair. It's a 4-3 ball game. Give Jackson an RBI.
Third baseman, Greg Nettles.
Paul Blair's at third. Talking to Dick Hauser.
That man's got some big hits in postseason play. Last year against Kansas City, got an awful big hit in the last game.
Here is Nettles. Nettles bounced out in the second inning, struck out in the third, struck out in the fifth. He has put on a defensive show tonight. So far, hitless. Yeager takes another one off the left foot. And there goes another dance book. He'll not use it.
Hooton gave Nettles a series of knuckle curveballs. Forster a fastball pitcher. That looked like the slider. There it goes down off of Yeager's foot or his instep. And this could be a good match right here. Nettles is a dead fastball hitter, and he's going to get some heat from Terry Forster.
Good fastball and a strike two. He's strength against strength now, just as you said, Tom.
They'll go up there looking for change of speed pitches on this guy. He's strictly power. One of the hardest sliders in the business.
Struck him out. Greg Nettles is out on strike, so Forster comes in. Gets 2 strikeouts, a ground out. That ends the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Dodgers 4, Yankees 3. It'll be Rick Monday, Lee Lacy, and Yeager for the Dodgers. In relief, it's a 4-3 ball game. And got a note here that Paul Blair's mother is in the ballpark. A couple of our good friends, and I know baseball fans, wishing him well. Fred Flagg, many years National League official in the hospital. Norm Sherry, recuperated from open heart surgery. Wish him well. And talking to Bertie Tebbets today, Hal Trotsky has he took a bad bounce, a little bit of a setback, and he's come back strong. Great Cleveland player. So we're glad they're watching. We're glad you're here, and we've got ourselves a dandy. 4-3. Dodgers lead, bottom of the 7th, and here is Rick Monday. Gossage. Outside, ball 1. Between Gossage and Forster, the catchers can break in a new glove in 2 innings. Hard throwers. Line foul.
Tom's up here chuckling. Anytime he sees a hard throw like he is too, get the ball in the kitchen like he just did, he's got to have a little smile.
Doyle to his right. In time, Monday is out.
It's a faint little smile to my heart.
We understand that we had a power blackout in the northwest area, so we're going to re-show the Ron Cey home run, especially for our good friends there. And, you know, Ronnie was born in Tacoma. Here's that big home run. A 3-run blast.
Lee Lacy just lined out to third base there. Another fine play by Greg Nettles at third.
So there are 2 outs. It brings up Steve Yeager. 1-2 pitch. Tapped in front of the plate. Munson out. Makes the play. Yeager is out. Munson to Spencer. It's 1-2-3 for the Dodgers. So we complete 7 innings. The score, Los Angeles 4 and the Yankees 3. 2. Last night it was 55,997, and I was hoping the 3 guys would show up, and 15 didn't, so we didn't make it. There's Billy North, who's going to play in center field, replacing Rick Monday. 26th time over 50,000 people this season here in Los Angeles. Piniella taps one foul on the third baseline. Oh, did he saw one off?
Known as a nasty pitch in the dugout. We talked about Forster's sore arm a little bit, how he can get a tender elbow. You watch from this back camera here as he delivers the ball, his right leg as he strides toward home plate be very stiff, and his arm comes around. It's almost like a bullwhip, and there's a snapping or popping action. There's a lot of pressure, of course, going into the elbow.
Fouled off right into the Yankee dugout.
Aside from that, Tom, that stiff leg that he has, you can notice he throws across his body, which has to put a little more strain on the pitcher's arm, too. Steps toward the first base foul line and has to really work a couple extra feet or so to get that arm in the throwing position.
Goes across his body the same way that Catfish Hunter does, and Catfish, of course, has had some history of shoulder trouble, too.
There's a line drive, right center field, drops for a base hit, and Piniella, the tying run is on. So Piniella gets his second base hit.
Jim Spencer.
You can see Forster as he delivers the ball, the stiff front leg and the real snapping motion. Now, he's worked 2 nights in a row, and I must reiterate about what I said with Red Adams, that he would rather not see Forster pitch tonight because of that tender elbow. Many times coming back the second night in a row, he's not as effective.
So Spencer is the batter, and we've got Cliff Johnson in the on-deck circle for the Yankees. There's his strike. Spencer, who has replaced the injured Chambliss. Yankees have Chambliss out. They have Mickey Rivers out, and Willie Randolph will not be eligible.
Chambliss hurt that right hand. The first pitch he swung at in the championship series against Kansas City. Might have pulled a tendon.
He threw it so hard, Spencer didn't know where that ball was after he bunted it. A lot of former White Sox in action right now. Gossage, relief for the Yankees, Forster, and Spencer. He got him right there, struck him out. Forster gets his third strikeout, first out in this 8th inning. It's a big one.
He needs it out of the inning, of course, and he goes to what his favorite pitch is, I guess you have to say, is slider.
Look at that leg kick. You talk about snapping something.
He does pop that elbow, and that'll cause a lot of stiffness, a lot of soreness. You know, facially, he's got looks a lot like one of the old, not the old, I shouldn't say that, one of the great Dodger right-handers, Don Drysdale.
Ah, you say so.
He does. Forster or Drysdale?
Don Drysdale. Here's Cliff Johnson. High bouncing ball is saved. They go to second. 1 out. Over to first. It is a double play. Cliff Johnson hits it to a double play. 5-4-3. And that ends the inning. A big around the horn. Piniella sees the ball hit. Takes off. He knows he's in trouble. Lopes a good pivot. In time, Johnson stretches it. A big double play for the Dodgers. So we go into the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's Los Angeles 4, Yankees 3. And Davey Lopes, Bill Russell, and Reggie Smith will be the Dodger hitters. Spencer's at first now. Stanley is at second. Dent and Nettles, the infield, as Davey Lopes takes it high. Ball 1.
There's Stanley, the new second baseman.
Center field, Paul Blair's got a beat on it, makes the play. I think I said 55,997. That was last night. It's 55,982. There's Blair.
You're looking at an artist right there. One of the best to play in the American League at that position in many a year. Paul Blair. He's got a ton of gold gloves at home.
Here is Bill Russell. Russell is 1 for 3. Fouls it off for strike 1. Gossage against Forster. 2 hard throwers.
I don't know how many gold gloves are in a ton. 8. They had the price. Good price today.
All right, Tony. Tries the bunt, bunts it foul.
This guy's got to be tough to bunt off. As hard as he throws, and he puts everything into it. Well, he just comes firing at home plate, and he's a big man, big, strong chest.
Ball Blair again.
Another fastball, fly ball to center field.
You know, the worst feeling for a hitter is what Gossage does to begin his windup. He looks to the ground. The guy throws that hard. You got a couple kids at home. You want him to look at you at all times.
He drops down from 3/4 a little bit, too, on occasion. And you can see some tail ends flying if you're a right-handed hitter.
He had a cut at a 3-ball, no-strike pitch.
I made a comment just before the 3-0 pitch that Smith is a good fastball hitter. But I'll tell you what, you're talking about a different kind of fastball with Gossage.
Hot smash. Spencer has it. He'll take the play himself, steps on the bag. It's 1-2-3. So at the end of 8 complete innings, the score here. Los Angeles 4, New York 3. That That's your regular time. We're in the 9th. Bucky Dent. Tying run is on. It's a base hit to left field.
This game can have some funny twists as Baker gets the ball back in. Forster pitching for the Dodgers. Gossage in the game for the Yankees. Dent just gets a base hit. They were former roommates, as we told you yesterday. There's the bench. Chambliss right there, who is not playing today.
Roy White's the batter, but let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Roy White misses the bunt. It's a strike. Garvey was charging hard. So was Say. White is 2 for 4. He lined out in the first inning. He singled, scored in the 3rd, popped in the 2nd baseman in the 5th, singled and scored in the 7th. White takes a good look at Hauser to see if it's still on. Then a good lead. Switched. He was running. Tapped on the 3rd base line. It's going to be a tough play. Roy White is out on a close play at first.
He did the job, though. He made contact in a tough pitch. Looked like it was down and in. Maybe a slider. He even get his bat on it. Was a good performance to get that runner in scoring position, Tom.
You know, it's good aggressive baseball, too, by the Yankees, Tony. It was a slider down and in. Looks like it might have hit his bat into his leg there. A good play by Terry Forster off the mound. Just as good as a bunt. Got a man in scoring position. Yankees got a chance for Paul Blair or Thurman Munson to drive him in, tie the game up.
Super play by Forster. A left-hander is a little bit tougher. Here is Blair. Hit the first pitch for a double. He came on and replaced Thomason. That was in the 7th inning. Ball 1.
There's some definite butterflies in the stomach of number 2 right there, that's for sure. These Yankees don't want to go back to Yankee Stadium down 2 games. They get a rally, tie it up, or go ahead. They'd love to go back 1-1, and that man, Terry Forster, if you look at Bucky Dent at second, trying to stop this Yankee rally.
1 out. Breaking ball inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Paul Blair.
Talk about guys that like to hit fastballs. Paul Blair does. Once in a while, he can generate a little power, too, because he swings awfully hard.
Whoa, takes it inside. He was going to bunt for the base hit.
You bet. He had Say back a little bit, and Garvey on the other side. Look at that.
All the way inside. Almost hit him, and now it's 3-1. Blair will take a look at Hauser, whether he'll be hitting or taking. Bob Lemon will flash the sign. That's Willie Randolph to his left. Willie suited, but not eligible to play in this series. Now, Blair backs out. He got the sign from the bench.
You got to bet that Forster's taking a little glance at the on-deck circle at Munson, too. They want to pitch to him.
Ball 4, walked in. And Tom Lasorda may have to make a decision. He's just motioned to talk to him and stall for time. And as a catcher, you see, just simply go out there.
Bob Welch, the right-hander, the young, hard thrower. Tom Seaver talked about him yesterday. The left-hander was Lance Rotzler. Here comes Tommy. He wanted to stall for time. Red Adams, the pitching coach, was on the phone to check with the bullpen catcher, Mark Creasy, to see if the pitcher was ready. The right-hander, Welch. I don't think he had too many pitches thrown out there, Tommy. And he's had a little shoulder problem or elbow problem, we understand, so he'd need a little more time to loosen up.
Well, if he needs time, he's got the guy on the mound to give it to him. I mean, sort of. He can hold court out there for about a half an hour if he has to.
I think that's the sign you get the most from a manager, that moving of the fingers like that, which you just go out there and just simply start. Now, Haller is standing at home plate. He's going to go out there now. He's going to go out there now because they're just standing out there talking. Munson is just waiting. You're not saying anything. You're just saying, hey, I'm going to stand out here until he comes out. Here he comes, and then you just stand around.
Thurman's enjoying himself, isn't he?
Welch. He's going with the youngster, Bob Welch. Here he comes. What can you really say about young Welch, that he just throws hard, throws strikes, and the games we saw him, Tony, on our game of the week, that crucial game that the Dodgers will pinpoint and say that's the one to turn us around, he just reared back and fired.
Tom Seaver talked about that yesterday. They were in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. They lost the first game of the series in Candlestick to the San Francisco Giants, and this kid came out of nowhere. In fact, it's interesting how they got him. he would have been regarded very highly and drafted by someone else, but he had a sore arm, missed a whole year of pitching, I believe in college. The Dodgers took a chance on him. He sat a whole year out, and look what he's done for him this year.
He's 21 years old. He'll be 22 years old on November 3rd. Born in Detroit, lives in Ferndale. His dad is here, was in the clubhouse, met with him, and you can bet that he's got some butterflies as he checks the runners like we do. Dent's at second, Blair is at first, Munson is the batter, one man out, ninth inning, Dodgers lead 4-3. Munson, a base hit in the first, walked, struck out in the fifth and the seventh. Strike one. He'll not be thinking, he'll be throwing. Bob Welch. Fly ball, right field. Reggie Smith is there, makes the play, so there are two away in the runner's hole, and Welch runs all the way over to third, backing up the play. The youngster obviously schooled well in the fundamentals.
That play might not have been as easy as it looked, because Reggie Smith was battling that bank of lights up here, and he got way down low to the ground until the ball came out. You hear about the sun a lot, but the lights in a lot of these stadiums will bother you too.
Now it comes down to the man, there's Reggie Smith, the man who's been called the autumn child by many, Reggie Jackson. A big conference on the mound, just more or less to settle his youngster down. Tom, if you don't know how to pitch to him now, this is no time to confuse him, huh?
Well, it's not time to go to school. You have to have your mind made up when you walk out of that bullpen. Those guys coming in know who they're going to face and what strengths they have, what weaknesses they have. They should have an idea what they're doing. A little commotion out in right field. Looks like we have a Frisbee and some paper out there in right field. They're going to stop play for a moment. The one thing about this youngster, Bob Welch, they've clocked him in that 95-mile-an-hour range with his fastball. He's got an outstanding fastball. The thing about him as a young pitcher, he has very good control with it. Got a good breaking ball. Seldom will throw a changeup. He's working on a changeup. He's got a good fastball. Much of the time knows how to throw it. That was a signal for the changeup for his catcher right there as they do a little warm-up while they're clearing the debris in right field.
So we're down to the last out for the Yankees. Dent, the tying run at second. Tiebreaker, Blair's at first. Reggie Jackson is the batter.
You couldn't ask for a more dramatic moment for a young pitcher to walk into right here.
Strike one. Wow. This crowd will tell you what's happening. Listen to them. Jackson regrouping, some standing, some seated. 21 years old. Bob Welch. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've been sending that low bridge all night to Reggie Jackson.
He really gets out of the way late, doesn't he? He doesn't get down, and that ball's almost by him. Look at this. He starts after it. Wonder why he gets hurt. Reggie has been hit in the head at least a couple of times that I know of.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Tying run at second. Bucky Dent, Paul Blair's at first.
And you know the guy at the plate, a guy who just has a knack for knowing the greatness of a moment, Reggie Jackson.
Fouls it back, the fastball is 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pressure mounts. Listen to these fans. Studying determination. Bob Welch, a deep breath, maybe a half prayer, and his best pitch. Fouled it back. What a battle.
Well, I'm telling you, my palms are sweating up here in the booth.
Bob Lemon, Dodger fans, Yankee fans, baseball fans. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tying run at second. 4-3. Dodgers, 9th inning. Power play. You think he's got wide in the strike zone a bit? There's the Dodger bench. Can't tell if he's winning or losing. Bob Lemon.
It's a classic matchup between a fastball pitcher and a guy that swings hard in the game-winning situation right here, too.
Look at that study. Ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jackson.
Tying run at second. That's the lead run at first. That's Dent at second. Blair at first. Blair can run. He can score an extra base hit.
Well, you're getting it all here. The kid against the veteran. The fastballer against a fastball hitter.
That Dodger outfielder swung around the right and way deep. They do not want an extra base hit in this situation. North and Smith are playing near the warning track.
Foul back. Jackson continues to battle Welch. Welch continues to battle Jackson.
He's fouling the pitches off, too, that people get him out high and tight.
Tell you, this kid, he doesn't have any shorts when it comes to that thing called guts. He proved it in San Francisco and here tonight. He's just looking in, getting his sign, and firing. Listen to the crowd. High, ball 3, we're down to a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and they pick up the percentage now. Paul Blair will be off as soon as Welch starts at the plate. Quite possible he could score on that long single. Percentage to go to 3-2, and it swings to the Yankees, and Jackson makes the kid wait. Dent at second. Blair at first. 2 outs.
Some upset Yankees, not just because they lost.
Now it's the 9th inning, and Bucky Dent opens with a single. But Dodger fans seem unfazed. Enter wunderkind Bob Welch to center stage. A 21-year-old flamethrower just 1 year off the college campus. Reggie Jackson digs in. A classic 9th inning confrontation. Bucky Dent poised at second. Paul Blair at first. 2 out. Mr. Cool, the kid with only half a season in the majors, against Mr. October, a 12-year veteran. 9 pitches, 4 foul balls, 6 minutes of classic nail-biting drama. Strike 3. The Dodgers win 4-3. Delirium, ecstasy, anger, frustration. And yet, even 2 games up, there's still that Bronx Stadium 3,000 miles away, yet to conquer.
Win game number 2 by the score of 4-3. And let's go down to our host, Kurt Gowdy, who's right in the middle of all the excitement down on the field. Kurt?
And excitement it is down here. They're still roaring, standing up. They're on their feet down here in these box seats during that individual battle between the kid and the big star, Reggie Jackson. And now the Yankees go home. Only 5 clubs in the history of the World Series have ever been 2 games down and come back to win a World Series. The last to do it, the Pirates in '71. They had the inspirational leadership of the late Roberto Clemente, who led the Pirates charge back to beat the Orioles. And more now, the big hope of the Yankees has to be Ron Guidry, the best baseball pitcher this year. And he'll go Friday night. It'll be a dramatic confrontation between Guidry and the Dodgers, and we'll see what happens. And now, back upstairs.
Well, the excitement is there. The Dodgers win game number 2. On Friday, it'll be Ron Guidry who'll have to be the stopper. It'll be a long plane ride for these Yankees. They had the time run on, but Bob Welch, the youngster, came in, battled Reggie Jackson, a classic battle, and Jackson ended up striking out to end the ball game, and the Dodgers win game number 2 by the score of 4-3. 4-7-0 for the Dodgers, 3-11-0 for the New York Yankees. So far, Tony Kubek, Tom Seaver, and Kurt Gowdy, this is Joe Garagiola saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Game 2 of the 1978 World Series has been brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, who invites you to see the beautiful new Chrysler Newport. And discover that now you can have it all right now. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Etra, for closeness with comfort, it's Gillette's best shave. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Oldmeyer. Today's World Series telecast was produced by George Finkel, directed by Harry Coyle, and the pregame was produced by David Stern. Directed by Ken Fouts. Technical director, Ray Figelski. Associate producer, Ken Edmondson. Associate directors, Richard Klein and Bob Levy. Friday at 8 o'clock, it's Game 3 of the World Series, and what a series it's going to be. Sunday, regional NFL action starting with NFL 78. You check your local listings. And World Series Game 5, if necessary, at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And now the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, following local news on the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations. Now here's a final word from Steve Garvey.
Paramount made the first nylon cord trimmer, and Paramount makes the best. Shear King. Paramount makes more nylon cord trimmers than anybody because a Shear King performs like a pro. A real tool designed to do all kinds of jobs. Cleans out the tightest corners, around walks and driveways, all the awkward places your lawnmower doesn't reach. Nothing beats a Shear King. Take it from me, Steve Garvey. You'll never get a straighter pitch.